Earlier today, I was reading in my Bible, and I was inspired by some verses I heard in James to bring them to light in a video. And those verses were verse 12, 15, and 17 specifically. And that's what I'm going to be speaking on today. In verse 12, it states that blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord's promised to them that love him. And I know I personally can relate to the beginning of that, which stated that blessed is the man that endures temptation, because for me right now, temptation is at a very, very all-time high with a few different things I've dealt with in my past. And remembering that enduring that, because the Lord made me a new creation through being born again, enduring that and not going back to the influence of the world, not going back to that former sin that I was wrapped up in, it brings me closer to the Lord. It brings all of us closer to the Lord when we do that. I'm not perfect. I come short just like everyone else. But when it happens, and when I stumble in the good race that we all run as a Christian, right? I reach out to the Lord because He's been reaching out to me. He's been reaching out to everybody to lend them a hand to help. And as He helps me, He gives me the strength to continue in this race and not stay down. That's what the enemy's trying to get you to do. He's trying to get you to stay down when you go back. But when you take the hand of the Lord, He'll bring you right back up and give you what you need to get back on track. And by repenting, that's when He reaches His hand out, when you come forward to apologize for what you've done. And moving on, verse 15, then when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. I remember when I was younger and I relied on my flesh a lot more. I didn't rely on God any when I was younger. Relying on my flesh, I look back and I was continuously sinning and I was continuously failing at the things that I was trying to do. In reality, I never really gave much effort. I just quit out of a lot of things and never really stuck with something. But now things are a little different, you know? The Lord, when rough times are coming, the Lord's going to give me the strength I need to continue through my faithfulness. Just like He does to you, just like He does to everybody. When we're staying faithful, you know, He's going to give you what you need to get through that. It's very hard to remember that the rough times are only temporary. Sometimes it's hard to remember that anything's really temporary. And that kind of goes in to the end of this, brings forth sin. When it's finished, when the sin's finished, it brings death. When I was continuously sinning, all the things I tried to get into, I just kind of, like I said, I quit out. It was dead once it was done. I got into the things I was doing by sin, and it killed off a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, a lot of really anything that I had going on, because I was wrapped up in the wrong stuff that the world was offering. Now let me talk about something good. Verse 17, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variable, neither shadow of turning. Now verse 17, that's something I can personally attest to. When you're doing the right thing, when you're patiently waiting with faith, when you're doing what the Lord wants you to do, living by His commandments, right? Not everything's going to happen at the same time. When good things start to happen, He'll throw little things at you, right? To see if you can handle what He's about to bless you with. Even if He's throwing the blessing at you, for some people, it might not come at one time. Because He's got to know, are you going to be faithful when I give this to you? And He also wants to know if you're going to handle it. And being faithful and handling it, that kind of goes hand in hand. Because if you're going to handle something the right way when the Lord gives it to you, you got to remain faithful. You know, He might be putting you in a situation where it's a good environment. It's a good environment, but some of the people you're around with, they might not have the same perspective as you got on that place, and their attitudes kind of show. And if you get caught up in that, you definitely won't be faithful, because you're getting wrapped up in the sin again. The same old sin that He brings back into your life to see if you're going to make the same mistakes, like I talked in the last video. And when you endure that, you might cop some dirt. You might get some dirty looks for some people. You might have some, how would I say it? You might not agree on a lot of things. You might have some different points of view. But like we were talking in Bible study today, moving past that and just agreeing to disagree, that's a great thing to do, even though a lot of us might not do that or just straight up be mature enough to do that. Because some people in life just kind of want to pick at you and just argue, make an argument on any little thing. You know, it's just how they are. And with people like that, the smart thing to do is just not give them any attention, not pay them any mind. Because those type of people will just turn, whether you say something bad, which add negative to negative situation, negative comment to negative situation, that's never going to be the right thing to do. And even if you say something good, they'll still manipulate that and turn it into something bad. And keeping your prayer life strong when the good things are coming, when the good gifts from the Heavenly Father start to come in. Because it's crazy how things can be going good. Because I can remember times when things were going good, but before then my prayer was very consistent, very, how would I say, just active, if that makes sense. But when good things started to happen, I kind of, we're close, but now I'm kind of going, as you see, like he's staying right here, but I'm kind of heading another way. And then he's going to humble you by bringing you right back. And that's kind of how it goes. Maybe you got to go through that to really get a sense of what it's like. I know I had to. Of your prayer life. Praying for other people that you're in an environment with. If you stick with that, you will legitimately see that the Heavenly Father can work for them just as much as he does for you. He can turn their situation around like that just as he did for you too. And thinking that everybody doesn't want to see you doing good, that's never really a positive mindset. That's nothing good to keep in your brain. For some cases it might be true, and if you're in a case where it's true, well, is there anything you can do about it? If so, do it. But if you're in a position where there's nothing really you can do about it, don't pay no mind. I mean, something negative like that, if it's true, it's only going to keep you back. Because if those people want to keep you back and you let them up here, if you let them live rent free, they're going to pull you back. But separating yourself up here and staying close to the Most High, it'll all work out for you. It will work out for you. And when you're starting to step in to what he wants you to be at, where he wants you to be at, doing what the Lord wants you to do, you will see that the devil comes to you, tries to bring you things, tries to bring you certain people, tries to bring you whatever it is, because he's always there with you, the enemy. He's always taking a look at you. The Lord won't let him get that close, but he's always keeping an eye on you to see when you're going to slip up, what you slip up with, how he can get in the cracks that you leave by having sin in your life. If you got a lot of sin in your life, the cracks are going to be wide open for him to kind of slither in and do his own work. But if you got a solid foundation, but if you remove the sin out of your life, you'll see the enemy will still try to come to you. He always will. He'll always try to come to you through whatever it is that he can come to you with. I heard this one girl talking to me one time. She said this: the devil will give you all your hopes and dreams just to take it away. That's true. That's true. If you let him, that's true. It's very true. And I'm lucky to have heard that before, because now I can pass it on. And if only I would have paid attention more to that, I would have saved myself a lot of suffering, a lot of bad times. But then yet again, the Lord let that happen for a reason. And the lessons I learned from those hard times, I still apply them to this day when certain people or certain things, whatever it might be, still kind of, try to come back into my life. Or it could be something completely new, but I can see the warning, the triggers, the red flags in that particular person where I gotta keep my distance. Or if I see something that's not good for me, it's kind of slowly but surely dragging me back into the sinful nature, or just sin in general. You gotta have that willpower and that strength, that meekness, the self-discipline to stay away from that. And right here, this is where you get it from. That's where you get it from, staying prayed up. I mean, there's no other place to get it at but from the Heavenly Father. Throughout Galatians, a big message of that was you can go to heaven. You go to heaven by your faith and the grace of God. Another thing that I got out of it, through what I've read myself, and even in Bible study, we go through rough patches to learn how to resist and to eventually help another person out. One last thing before I get out of here. Your Father don't play about you, about me, about His children. He don't play about us. You might not see all the things that happen. A lot of things happen behind the scenes. You might not see everything that happens, but you'll know that He don't play about His children when you start to consistently see things happen to people that are mocking God, mocking the religion, mocking your faith, mocking you for whatever reason that you're open about being a Christian. Bad things will happen to those people. The Lord's a Lord of equity. They do something bad, He's going to return the favor. Vengeance is not yours. I saw that somewhere in Psalm. What chapter it was? There's a whole chapter dedicated to it. I don't know. I forget, honestly. But the Lord's vengeance, it's the Lord's vengeance, not yours. That too, before I get out of here. Because that might be something that you need help with too. I mean, we all go through that, wanting to get revenge on somebody. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Might not happen today, might not happen tomorrow, might not happen in 10 years. Who knows when it's going to happen? The Heavenly Father does. And that's why you shouldn't worry about it, because it's only going to keep you back there. And who's back there? Back there? Satan. Because he's behind you. He's behind you. Once you're born again, He's behind you. He's not your main priority anymore. He's behind you. Heavenly Father, that's your main priority. Keeping your foundation of the relationship strong. Building that house on the rocks, on the surface that's stable, not the sand. Anyway, I hope this kind of helped you in some sort of way. And if not, there's an entire book right here that'll help you in whatever you're going through in life. Take care.